This week on your winter weigh-in, it was all about the girls, and Rotorua, Tomodachi looks like a classy mare on the rise, bringing up a training milestone for Andrew Scott. When it came to the stayers on the undercard, Nigella Lane was successful for Kelly Myers and Ralph Manning. Jumps racing got well underway at Whanganui on Sunday. We look at the best of the runners with Hamish McNeill. Plus, how could we forget about the Hall of Fame Awards? They were last night and they celebrated some of the best in our industry. We'll touch on a number of those. All of that to come on your very first edition of Winter Weigh-In. Great to have your company over the next 30 minutes. We'll be getting into all of the reviews from the weekend, as promised, the jumps action and so much more. I'm going to be going through Winter Weigh-In this evening with my co-host Sam Weatherley. Sam, great to welcome you to the panel. Looking forward to what we have ahead of us over the next couple of months.
Thanks, Emily. Pleasure to be here. Been excited about this for a little while now, so good to put it all into action. Looking forward to getting into the racing through the past weekend and looking forward to being here for these next couple of months. Yeah, there's lots that we are going to be enjoying over the next couple of months with the jumps racing, of course. We've got the Winter Queensland Carnival as well, all to look forward to. But we want to get into the replays from the weekend, and we start with Rotorua, where, of course, we had the highlight race in the ITM Stakes.
And Honey Badger says, come and catch me if you can. It led by 3 here. Archipelago's warming up, battling away. G-String, Blondie closer in. Further out is Bold Choice, but it's Honey Badger on its lonesome here. And Honey Badger's going to race away and win very, very easily.
Boy, this horse has blown them off the track.
Yeah, look, she's come up really well this preparation. She was just waiting for some give in the ground. I thought her run last start was really good, and yeah, we're pretty confident coming into today, especially on these sort of track conditions.
Dark Destroyer, here's Nigella Lane coming after it with El Jumala, and over on the inside, Khan Hunter. It's now Nigella Lane. Dark Destroyer's trying hard, but Nigella Lane wins the cup.
Yeah, she's a neat little mare, and she should be a black type winner already. I mean, she should have won it Whanganui, but luck didn't go her way. So yeah, it's really nice to get the win for the team today.
Over on the inside, Tomodachi saved ground. She's coming after them now. Tomodachi ranks to the lead from Lux Libertas, trying to run on also now Bedtime Story, but it's Tomodachi, Bedtime Story and Lux Libertas. The favourite delivers. Tomodachi won it.
She's all class. Needed the line. Look, the track is in bits. It's tough anywhere you go, and I just didn't see much point in spending any more petrol than I needed to. But yeah, all credit to Lance and Andrew and the owners for giving me the call up. I really do appreciate it.
Win number 1,000 for yourself.
Yes, so they say. But, you know, obviously, yeah, quite a milestone. But it takes a team of owners, staff. I've had some amazing mentors with Mike Moroney and Lance personally in my own life as well, and yeah, it's obviously started a long time ago, and to get this today is amazing. And yeah, on Tomodachi, wow, it's just what a mare. It just doesn't matter if it's quick ground, you know, the wet ground. She's just a really good racehorse, and she can only get better.
Lots to celebrate on a fine day at Rotorua on Saturday, and I think Tomodachi was really the star of the show, Sam. A super classy performance. She looks like a horse that's going to be in Group 1 company next season.
She's very good, Emily. I think it's a case of not if she's going to win a Group 1, I think it's when. So well done to the team. Obviously, Andrew's 1,000th winner. Also thrilled for Sir Peter Vella as well. Puts a lot into racing, and I know he'd be getting a huge kick out of this, but no, she's very good, and she's going to be one to watch over this next season. When
we look at that replay there, Joe Doyle really took the initiative, didn't he? He took the shortest route home, so to speak, but got onto the best ground when they straightened up. That's correct.
Look, I think the ride won the race. He's saved 5 or 6 lengths on the corner, and he's come out to the part of the track where he needed to be. If he went around them, does he win? probably, but he took bad luck out of the equation, so it was a terrific ride. I don't think Lance could have ridden any better himself if he was in the saddle, so I think he'd be happy with Joe's ride.
What did you make of the beaten horses? Obviously, Bedtime Story in behind. We had Lux Libertas as well, was maybe a fraction unlucky.
Bedtime Story was good. She's going to get one of these races at some stage. She's had a nice long prep. I think she's off to the paddock now, so she's only 4 as well, so next season she's, guys said that's really when she's going to develop into a nice mare. Lux Libertas was super again. She's raced pretty well for the majority of her career, really. I think she's going to have another run in a month at Tauranga, so she really relishes these heavy track conditions, so she's going to be awfully hard to beat when she lines up next.
And you had a bit of news with regards to Carmen Line, didn't you, out of that race as well? Maybe off to a sale potentially?
Yeah, that's correct. I think they're looking to run her in that same race as Lux Libertas at Tauranga. And then some sort of broodmare sale of some kind. She's a valuable broodmare, she's well bred. She's won a stakes race or two, so she'll be a good buy for someone out there.
Let's touch on Andrew Scott, because a 1,000th win for him. And you can see he was a little bit surprised on the day, but he's got a remarkable record and he's been associated with some great horses. You spoke to him about some of his favourite wins, and they're mentioned there at the bottom of that graphic. Yeah,
that's for sure. Look, it's no easy feat to get to 1,000 winners. I've sort of known firsthand. I was apprentice to Andrew, so we've had a couple of those wins there together. But I spoke to him the other day. He took huge satisfaction out of it, and he's always very quick to thank his team and the team around him. And you see with Mike and Lance of late. So, but he's a very good horseman, and his whole life is dedicated to these horses. So no, he deserves all the success he's got. Yeah, he sure does. And a special mention to Sire and Tarzino, because Tomodachi was the 7th individual stakes winner for the Westbury Stud Stallion. Also had success recently, of course, with Willie Do-It, Torrenzino, and also Cadavar. So been a good run for Westbury Stud. Let's press on to the undercard and to the stayers. This is a look at the Rotorua Cup. Nigella Lane was the winner, but it was a good tussle, wasn't it, between Nigella Lane and Dark Destroyer. They took different tactics and they came together at the end. It was. Look, 2 very good rides. Tristan produced a wonderful losing ride. But unfortunately he's run into a very good ride from Kelly Myers. She put her in the race at the right time. She was stuck in traffic for a little while and made the move and still had a bit of cover, and the rides won the race. And gee, she's been a tough mare, hasn't she? She's been up a long time. I think she won a race back in December on a firm track, and she's been knocking on the door at this black type level, so well done to the team. I think it's Ralph's 3rd winner in the race as well, so now full credit to them. I got some yells in with Dark Destroyer. Gee, the couch copped one there, but he's run well. He's actually going to go to Brisbane now. So. Am I right in thinking he was going to be retired potentially before that run? But he certainly put that on the back burner. Sometimes they get the whisper in the ear and they hear. They might have heard it over the loudspeaker at the races. But no, he hasn't been going too bad. He just likes soft going and up to a middle distance trip as well. So we're going to go and get a bit of sun on our back with him and Pierre. So looking forward to doing that. And I guess a special mention has got to go to the Rotorua track itself, because I'll be honest with you, the morning of the races, 93 millimetres of rain. I thought there was no chance it would go ahead, but it raced well. Unbelievable. And I think, look, we're always first to criticise these track managers. So I think we would give them a pat on the back here. They went through all the right protocols, 2 track inspections. Track was obviously fit to race, and which it was. It raced. I spoke to 3 or 4 jockeys there, and they said it was hard work. It was testing, as to be expected. You have 93 mils of rain, but it was safe. It raced fair. We had winners come from everywhere. So if I had to pick one thing over the weekend, that's my feel-good story, is that we got a meeting off the ground, and yeah, it was good racing. Yeah, kudos to the Rotorua Club. Well, talking of cups, we need to get you to Trentham, where we did have the running of the Masterton Cup. This one was taken out by Enrico, and Sam, you know a little bit about this horse. It was a nice win, wasn't it, by Enrico? First racetrack appearance in 105 days, so a nice training effort too. Yep, no, he's actually a pretty good horse, this horse. I think I've had about 4 rides on him for 3 wins, so I know him well. And for him winning over 1,400, he's a real stayer. Like, I think I won on him over 2,200 there last preparation. And see, he's canted up to them here and just he's just toyed with him like you didn't want to be on anything else. So full credit to Iloni. Gee, she's a hard worker and probably one of the best horsemen we have gone around. So, but I think they're going to look at getting to a New Zealand Cup. Well, that's their big goal. He wants to stay, so they're going to give him his chance to get down there. And trust me, he'll be winning a big Cups race somewhere along the line.
Yeah, we'll look forward to that. Of the beaten horse, obviously, we had the Royden Burgesson trained pair, and also, I guess I need to make mention to that beaten favourite, which was King of Hearts.
Royden's pair both run extremely well. Just run into a good horse on the day. King of Hearts is, as you said, he was a hot favourite, but probably just to forgive. He was stuck down there on that inside of that track, and he really wants to lug in quite bad. Like, he wants to find that rail, which is when you're in these really testing tracks and you're racing on the outside fence, it makes it so difficult. So he's a forgive for mine. He's quite a nice horse.
Yeah, we'll watch him working forward. Well, we also on Sunday had a meeting from Invercargill, and we had the Wairio Cup at Invercargill, and I was talking to Sam outside of the show, and obviously it's a little bit of a niggly track. We can talk about that later, but let's first touch on Short, because ran out of its grade. I think was going to carry 60 kilos and a rating 65. They elected to come to this race, and it proved to be a good decision.
Yeah, Short's come a long way in a short time. I think he was winning a maiden 2-2 at the same track at the end of January, albeit on soft ground like again there was yesterday. But he just keeps stepping up. He's got a real affinity for the track and the distance. So that was a good tough win, and Kylie's riding incredibly well as well. Yeah,
she is Anna Hewitson, who obviously trains Short, purchased the son of Savabeel through Gavel House, and is quite well related actually. Short is out of the Sacred Falls mare Tawler, who's a three-quarter sister to Group 1 winner Tiptronic, so we're quite a nice family there. You were talking about that Invercargill track, and you said you've been there once, and it wasn't the particularly great experience in terms of beaten favourites.
It was an eye-opener anyway. I went down there for a very good mate of mine, Terry Kennedy, and had about 8 rides for him down there, and I think 6 or 7 of them were favourites, and I got there and it was because you get to the half mile and it's a sharp bend, and then down there's a 600 metre dummy straight, which is like, we don't have anything like that in New Zealand. It's pretty similar to Moonee Valley over in Australia, they reckon. So there's moves happening left, right and centre down a 600 metre straight, and then all of a sudden there's another sharp bend right on the corner and then it's 200 metres to the winning post. So I think I led on about 6 of them and were last on 2, and I walked out there and I thought, gee, I don't know if I can do that again, but yeah, managed to get one of the 8 right.
Oh, left there in good spirits anyway. We obviously leave the flat action and we get you to the jumps action, because as you heard at the start of the show, we did have the opening of the jump season on Sunday at Whanganui. Let's take a little look at what unfolded on a big Sunday.
They come to the last. It's Never Look Back, then St Bernard, next Catch and Release, then All in Black. The leader has Never Look Back with St Bernard, and then Catch and Release. Never Look Back doing enough on the quick back up, and Never Look Back wins the first jumps race of 2025. The favourite wins the first, the Ken Duncan Racing Maiden Hurdle. Very Flash, Obrigado, they jump right next to each other. Obrigado and Very Flash. Obrigado trying to get to Very Flash, who's responding. Obrigado and Very Flash. Very Flash going better. Very Flash beat Obrigado. It's Jesco to the last, up and over for Sean Fannin and raced away. Jesco by 2 or 3, then Call Me Jack and Els Red's Head. But Jesco, first time of asking, far too good over the jumps, and Jesco won by 7 lengths.
What a lovely jumper.
What a great way to start the jump season. Things certainly got off with a bang on Sunday at Whanganui. And as we said, Hamish McNeill joins us on Winter Way. And Hamish, a very good evening to you. Great to have your company, and jumps racing certainly off in good spirits in terms of Sunday's racing.
Hey Emily, yeah, it's a pleasure to be a part of this for the winter, and I'm looking forward to cracking in and just taking back the curtain back a bit for the general public and just getting them the ins and outs of the jump racing. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Let's start with some replays from Sunday, and obviously we want to touch on the John D. Moore Memorial Steeple. That was taken out by Jesco, and I guess, Hamish, this looks like a really nice horse on the rise for the Fannin team.
Yeah, look, he is a horse that's been very well placed by Sean throughout his career, especially over the obstacles. He's had 3 starts now, for 2 starts over hurdles for a win and a 4th or something, and a very dominant win on debut over fences here on Sunday. Yeah.
Hamish, just from a rider's perspective, coming up against Sean Fannin, gee, you must read every time he's in the race, because he doesn't go around very often. I know he likes to ride his own ones, but geez, he's very good at his craft, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an absolute nightmare to ride against. He's a very calm, collected horseman. He goes about his craft very well, and he's definitely worth a good 2 or 3 lengths on a horse, yeah.
And Hamish, obviously I heard in that post-race interview, they got some pretty big assignments in mind for Jesco, and what do they look like? What does the upcoming programme look like for Jesco?
Yeah, look, like I was saying, he's been a very well-placed horse throughout his career. I think he's had 17 starts in the flat for 3 wins, and now 3 over obstacles for 2 wins. So listening to Hazel at the end of the interview, she's talking about they are going to be looking at aiming at some of those bigger jumps racing throughout the year, and he's definitely a horse to follow. He's going to be coming into a lot of those big races off the bottom weights, and if Sean's riding them, he's definitely going to be a threat.
Was there anything of the beaten horses that caught your eye, or is it really all about Jesco in that one?
I mean, out of this race, it was nice to see the big red horse, All Red said. It was nice to see him bowl along in front. I wasn't too sure how he was going to jump these fences at Rotorua. He's definitely a horse that prefers the live fences. But he settled lovely for Matt Gillies, who, again, another shout out there. Great to see Matt Gillies back riding in the riding ranks. He's definitely going to be a great addition to the ranks again. And yeah. Apart from that, no, I think it's all about Jesco for that race now, yeah.
And capped off a pretty good day for Team Fannin, also one with the afternoon siesta on the programme, so something to celebrate there on a Sunday. We also want to touch on that Wanganui Open hurdle, Hamish, as we come to you. Very Flash was obviously the star performer. Obligado put up a good fight, though, and in terms of Very Flash, what a record. What is it, 14 or 15 victories, I think, to date? It's quite the resume, isn't it?
Yeah, unbelievable resume. I mean, it's in the breeding. You know, it's a very blue bloodline. I'm not too sure about his flat record, but I do know he's 4 from 8 over fences now. I think the story out of this race, though, has to be the fight they've been from the 600 home between the 2 Wilds boys. They're both kids that are trying very hard and very dedicated and very passionate young boys. And yeah, I know I spoke to Dean Wells earlier on today, and he just got a quick word about how he feels about these 2 boys riding against each other, and he couldn't be prouder of them. He said he was glad Corey got up. I think Corey's a bit bigger than Kylan, so he struggles a bit more with his weight, but yeah, again, it's just great. It was a great day's racing, very competitive. You can see here, they're both competitive boys, and it's great.
I thought the same thing, Hamish. They've been a great addition to the riding ranks, haven't they? They're trying hard. They're getting winners, and they're only going to improve each and every time they're going out there and getting it done. So it was good to see a bit of tongue in cheek after the line as well. So good on them. Yeah,
good on them is right. Hamish, we'll just come to you with regards to that maiden hurdle, because it was a debut performance over the jumps for Never Look Back, but it was a pretty smart start to the career.
Yeah, look, it was a very nice debut win for Never Look Back. Especially speaking to the trainer afterwards, he's backing up after 5 days after a very unlucky second in the Foxton Cup behind his stablemate. But the reasoning behind the quick backup was he went to the point a couple of weeks ago, and he was just a bit fierce out in front. So Gail was just a bit hesitant about running them too fresh over hurdles just for his own safety, and I mean it's paid off dividends for them. And also for Michael Rustaby, you know, he's again, he'd be another one of the battlers in the room, and he's taken a $1.65 favourite by the scruff of the neck and put him to bed, yeah.
West Coast is another horse that we can't help but mention. We know what a star he is. He was back on the flat, and what did you make of that returning run?
Yeah, look, I mean, and we all know why he was there. He's there to get fit. I think it's been a very honest run for a horse. It's back fresh up after 8 months off. Spoke to Chris afterwards. He said, look, he's done everything right. He's found the line, and he's only going to improve from it. We all know why he's here, so yeah.
Hamish, thanks for taking us through all of that jumps action. We'll link back in with you shortly. For now, though, here on your Winter Weigh-In, we're going to take a break. On the back of that, we highlight the Hall of Fame Awards here on Winter Weigh-In. Dave, no doubt an incredible honour to be inducted into the Hall of Fame this evening. Tell me what that means to you.
It's a real privilege, and I'm just so lucky that I've got my wife Karen here, who's been an incredibly important part of the whole Te Akau operation since we married over 20 years ago, and having all my friends and family here, it's really special.
Is there a moment, a horse that means the most to you over that time?
Hard to believe, but a horse called Distinctly Secret got me out of a big hole when I was a bit short of money 25 years ago, and I bred him, and he won big races in New Zealand and Australia, and I've got to say that he was one of my favourites.
I'm joined by the breeder of Dundeel in Murray Anderson. Murray, an incredible night, a horse to celebrate. What does it mean to you for him to be inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Oh, absolutely fantastic. A big part of the success was obviously you, Emily. You need a good trainer, a good strapper, and a good jockey, and we had all of them, so fantastic.
It's a great chance to reflect on his career and now what he's doing as a stallion. What stands out for you as the highlight?
Well, I suppose the fact that not only has he left so many Group 1 winners, but he's now left becoming known as a sire of sires. So he's got Castle Vecchio and Super Seth going, and he's also over 12% sire of his broodmares are leaving state winners, so very, very happy.
Great to be here with Mark Chiddick, who will be accepting Savabeel's award this evening. What an incredible way to acknowledge Savabeel. It must be a bit surreal what he's achieved.
Yeah, 100%. It's been obviously a hell of a ride. To acquire a Cox Plate winner wasn't easy. Obviously, it was a hell of a lot of money back then. We're talking some 20 odd years ago, and he was a $10 million purchase, you know. And obviously, he was the horse that we really wanted. But you can't do that sort of job without support. And we've had great support, and all of us have been and enjoyed and are still enjoying an incredible ride that we just couldn't be prouder of him.
Tonight, Imperatrice is being inducted into the New Zealand Racing Hall of Fame. I'm joined by Mark Walker, her trainer. What an incredible mare she was. It's hard to get one better than her, I can imagine.
You don't realise probably, Emily, to 12 months later just how good she was. And when you're caught up in the moment, you're planning the programs and you're planning everything from day to day, weekly to weekly. You don't realise until probably 12 months later, and you think, geez, you just miss them so much. They're just so hard to find. But no, she was just an incredible racehorse, yeah.
Yeah, great to be at the Hall of Fame last night. 9 very worthy recipients of that award. And we were talking about the different recipients, Sam, and some incredible people and horses acknowledged. Imperatrice was one that stood out for you. You had a fun story from your school days.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, firstly, she's a champion, Emily. Yeah, as you heard from Mark, you probably don't realise how good she really was. She's probably arguably the best sprinter we've ever come across here in New Zealand. So, yep, well done to them, as well deserved. Yeah, funny story. Had a primary school teacher, Mrs. Lamb, Bing and Bev Lamb at home. They'll be watching tonight, I'd say. So they were retired and just loved racing, followed racing for a long time, and sitting around and thinking, oh, should we take a share in a horse and this and that? And they stewed over it for a long time. And their neighbours, who I'm good mates with, are sort of elbowing them and saying, just do it, go and do it, go and do it. So they go to take a 10% share in a horse, and first horse, it's Imperatrice. So that's just, it's amazing, you know, like these stories, and sort of, it can be good and bad when the first one comes along and it's just this good, because it's only downhill from there. Yeah. But that's why you've also full credit to David and Karen. That's why they're so good at what they are. Look, they were sitting at home and see the TV ads come up every Saturday. So that's how they got involved, and now they've gone into more horses as they rightly should have. But yeah, cool little story on that.
Yeah, they need to quit. They need to get out and not get in any more horses, because it goes one way from there. A champion mare, and great to celebrate some of the greats of our industry last night. Well, we get you along to some exciting news that we heard earlier last week, which is, of course, around that World Jockey League, which is a really interesting concept. Features some of our best, Sam. J Mac, Iradotis Jr., William Buick, Frank Dettori. We've heard these names bandied around, and a prize pool worth $15 million. It's quite the concept.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen all of them in a race at one time, I don't think. So it's going to be interesting how it all works out, and I'm excited to see how it plays out. Yeah, imagine if we can get them all together at every single meeting. That'd be huge, but huge for racing. Looking forward to seeing where it's going to go.
Yeah, exactly right. We will wait with anticipation and bring you the news here on Winter Weigh-In as it unfolds. Hamish, we'll come to you because we had some exciting jumps news during the week, and that was an increase in prize money for a key race.
Yeah, obviously Rickerton Racecourse came out with a statement saying they're going to increase the Grand National Steeplechase this year, considering it's the 150th anniversary, so they're going to increase it to 200,000. And I think that's amazing. I spoke to Tim briefly about it yesterday when I was at the races, and he was just reiterating the fact that it's good to know that Rickerton Racecourse, it's owned by a trustee, so it went to a vote of all the patrons. So it's all racing patrons, and they said it was a resounding yes, that they understand the importance of the National Week down there at the Carnival of National Week, and how important it is to Rickerton Race Club for the season. And it's going to do nothing but entice all the best steeplechasers from the country. You've got your Cossack, West Coast, Captain's Run, Takahoo, and I think it should set up for a very, very exciting national week.
I'm sure it will. Some big names in the mix there. Great news coming out of the South Island. What a new segment to wrap up our show here this week, and it's called Winter Whispers. It's a horse that has caught the boys' eyes, and Sam, we'll start with you. Yours is called Maybe Diva.
Yes, I think I found one here, Emily. She was quite unlucky. She was a little bit sort of tardy away and probably got back a little bit further than expected, but she was going around at $97 as well. You can see there on the video, she was held up till 100 and dashed late. She's going to go to Ellerslie in a couple of weeks' time, over 1400 again. They're hoping to be a little bit more positive from the barriers, but the team said she's pulled up well. You won't get $97 next start, but I think I've found one that can be winning.
And for me, as such, it's not as such a horse that I caught my eye. It's, we had West Bowl start off his campaign there yesterday at Wanganui, and speaking to Karina McDougall yesterday at the races, I know the Cossacks going for a jump out at Waipuck tomorrow, and all going to plan. He'll head to Trentham on Saturday. So it's not really one to watch out coming through the ranks, but it's just, we've seen West Coast go around, and now it's time for his counterpart, Cossack, to start off his winter campaign.
Yeah, things certainly get exciting from here on in when it comes to the jumpers, doesn't it? Hamish, a big thank you to you. Sam, huge thank you to you too. Great to have got our first edition of Winter Weigh-In off and running. We'll be back same time next week to review the weekend's action.